and also we will see the Super Bowl trophy presented. Super Bowl 11, the men who made it happen, is brought to you by Gillette, makers of new Right Guard deodorant stick for all-day odor protection. Don't get dressed without it. And by S-Mark, America's 35th largest industrial corporation. As I said, in the dressing room right now, they're getting ready. There is a Super Bowl, folks, and it's a big trophy, and Brian Gumbel is in that crush of people in there. There you see Pete Rozelle. And if Bryant is ready now, we'll jump into the Oakland Raider dressing room, because I understand they want to get the presentation made as soon as they possibly can. So there's Bryant with John Madden. And Bryant, if you can hear me, and he's got to put it in his ear. There he is now. Okay, Brian Gumbel. You're on, Bryant.
Okay, Commissioner Pete Rozelle. Commissioner Rozelle, standing with Al Davis, Coach John Madden. Commissioner, I think you've got a presentation to make. I'll let you do it.
Al and John and Ed, it's not silver and black, but it's close. And the Raiders certainly deserve today one of the most impressive wins in Super Bowl history.
Thank you very much, Commissioner. On behalf of the Raiders, John Madden, Ed McGaw, myself, the Oakland Raiders were magnificent on that football field today. Super champions. And to the people and the community in Oakland, we're proud to represent you, and we intend to hold it. Thank you.
We're going to hear from Coach John Madden and the other players who made this game what it in the interview room with our staff of experts right after we take a commercial break.
Cross Your Heart Bras, one of many popular.
We're back in our interview room now, and there's a man that we've seen marching up and down sidelines of football fields for many years. We've seen him angry, we've seen him exultant, and today we see him very happy. Coach, why don't you come over here? The coach of the Super Bowl champions for this year, John Madden, and congratulations to you, John.
I like the sound of that.
This is our group that will be talking to you, Coach, and Larry Merchant's going to lead it off with questioning.
Coach, it looked like the halftime show could have given you a better game than the Vikings. How much stronger is the AFC than the NFC? You've dominated this game for 5 years.
I didn't see the halftime show. But I thought, that a lot of the things that were said about this Super Bowl, the distractions and so on, we necessarily didn't believe. We came down and enjoyed this week, and we went out and we were going to play a relatively wide open game. We wanted to wheel and deal, and there's no one that does that better than offense when we're going, is led by Kenny Stabler. And that was our main plan, not to get into one red or just do one thing, but really to move around.
But how much stronger is the AFC than the NFC?
Well, of course, Pittsburgh is very tough. And we respect that team. New England was very tough in the playoff game. And obviously we've had a lot tougher games in the AFC than we had today.
Today, I guess, Coach, the AFC was 18 points better than the NFC, because that was the difference in the ball game. We have some highlights that we're going to show of the game, and early on there was an exchange of turnovers that a lot of people feel were very important to setting the tone of the rest of the game. And the first play was a defensive play by a man in the secondary, and Paul McGuire is going to talk about that. Paul, here it is.
Minnesota, they block an awful lot of kicks. What special preparation did you do for this game against Minnesota?
Well, we've prepared, all year, every day on our special teams. We meet and practice every day, and of course they did block that first punt on us. It was the first one that we had, but we were very aware of their blocking type things, and we felt that we were going to do a good job.
But you got the ball right back on that play that we just showed, Johnny, on the fumble recovery. Now, in the fourth quarter, when the Vikings looked like they were about to wake up, there was this big play. That was the interception.
That was Willie Hall's interception, and of course they had the one score, and they were driving down for another one, and we knew that if they were able to score at that time, it could make a different game out of it. of course, Willie picked it off, and that was a big turnaround, and then followed later by Willie Brown's interception for a touchdown, which really put the game out of reach.
So the turnovers were very important. John Brody, you have a question?
I have one question, John. I think you alluded to the fact that you guys came down here to enjoy it, be with it, work with it, rather than let it work against you, and go and do your thing. And several people have mentioned the fact that, hey, there seems to be something in John Madden that he's kind of different than he has been in previous Super Bowls or previous championship games. He seems to be the John Madden we all know, even to the public right now, and it might have had an effect on the rest of the club. Do you feel that so?
I really don't know. I know that we had a lot of opportunity to watch other people do it, and we knew that we didn't want to get upset with the surrounding atmosphere of the game and let it bother our concentration. We wanted to roll with it, enjoy it, and we did. And I don't think that was something we could just talk about. If we were going to do it, I had to do it too.
Okay, John, thank you very much again. Congratulations from all of us at NBC and to all of the Raiders, and it makes it a happy new year to start. We'll be back, and we'll be talking with Ken Stabler, Fred Biletnikoff, and other of the Oakland Raiders right after this message. Congratulations. Ken Stabler, the quarterback of the Raiders. John, if you could throw the ball the way Kenny did today, you'd still be in the league, I think.
Ever. If I could ever throw it that way for one play. Ken, I want to ask you just one question. You've thrown the ball for many years to Fred Biletnikoff. He was covered oftentimes. You never seemed to disconnect all day long. He made great plays, but you put the ball in what looked to me to be the only place he could catch it. Did you feel that their defense was better than the amount of points they gave up?
I don't know about their defense being better, John. I think our offense is super. I'll put it that way. And I don't think you can throw the ball anywhere that he can't catch it. And that's the way I feel about all of our guys. And, you know, it's a pleasure to be able to work with the core receivers that we have.
Now we want to show a couple of plays while we have you here, Ken. And you talked about Biletnikoff, John. The first one we're going to show is one of your connections with Casper, who also had a marvelous game. And it seemed that whoever got double-teamed is who you went to. He runs over him, doesn't he?
Well, that was the first pass completion we had of the day, and through viewing films, we saw that they tried to cover Dave with a line, linebacker, and that's kind of hard to do.
Now here we're still in the first quarter, and this one is again to Casper.
Well, it's just a short-out type thing. It's kind of a ball control type pass, and David's a pretty strong guy, and he breaks about 10 tackles and makes a big gainer out of it.
The guy that they talked about, I guess, all season long as the burner is Branch.
Well, you know, Clifford's been our home run guy all year, and, you know, a guy with 9-1 speed's just about, you know, it's a little hard to cover deep, but people late in the year started playing us really deep and not giving us the big ones.
Lenny, you have played in this game a couple of times. What are your thoughts or questions for Ken?
Well, they went to the left side a great deal of the time running the ball. Why?
Well, you know, we've got two all-pro players over there, and Casper's a great blocker. I'm not taking anything away from our right side with Beeler and Vela. They're great players, but you know, if you got a couple of good horses, you got to ride them, and that's what we do, and we have a lot of confidence in those guys, and it's been successful all year, and we really didn't change anything that we've done all year long. We just played the same type game we played, no matter who we played. We mixed up, gave a lot of formations, and did the same things, but we did them from different formations and gave different looks.
Barbara, you have a final question for Ken?
Kenny, early in the game, a lot of people in the press box were saying they were very confused by what kind of defense the Vikings were running against you. Looking at them across the line, were you confused too?
Well, no, not necessarily. The Vikings play a standard type thing, and they really didn't change their defenses any for us, and they feel like we do. They're not going to change anything that got them here, and they played basically the way that we thought they would.
Okay, Ken. Oh, excuse me, Kenny. Thank you very much for being with us, and congratulations again. And here's the guy that catches them when Ken throws them. Oh, I might just hit the ground. I'll pick that back up. Freddy, he's not as sticky as everybody says he usually is. Fred Biletnikoff, who again had a big game today, and we'd like to get a couple of questions for Freddy started. And you're a defensive player, a word, Paul. What would you do against a guy like this?
Well, I'd look up to heaven first and call timeout when I saw him come up. The one I wanted to ask is, Fred, after the block punt, and they had the ball on the 2-yard line, then Oakland got the ball back. What did that really do to your offense?
Well, I think it sort of established our a good point for our defense that they were going to come in and play some ball, and I think that was a turning point in the game for us right there. We stopped them there and didn't give them a chance to get ahead of us, because I think they're the type of team that would have been a lot tougher if we got behind them.
Freddie, we have, again, some highlights, some of the plays that you were involved in. And, Len, as a quarterback, I know you'd always like to have a guy like this running around out there getting free.
Well, he's a tremendous football player, and he has been for a great number of years, and always had great respect for him. But Fred, what about your game plan passing-wise? What did you win with the idea of doing?
Well, we thought we could throw the ball at him. It was all going to depend on what kind of pass protection we were going to get, and we felt offensively that we could move the ball on them passing, but we didn't know too much about the running, how well we'd be able to run on them. But we ran probably better than anybody on them, and we scored on them inside the 5-yard line, which not too many people have done all year.
John Brody?
Yeah, Fred, it looks like oftentimes when you come back for a ball and you're catching the ball, picking it up off the ground, that it's a misthrown ball or what have you. And when I alluded to the fact that I thought their coverage was pretty good, I just thought your excellence was extraordinary. Do you guys get together and find places to throw it when things look pretty tight?
Well, Kenny's always... The reason I really appreciate... You can't know how I appreciate playing with Kenny, because of the fact that we run a lot of sideline patterns, I do, and a lot of defensive backs sit on me, about 15, 16 yards, because they know I'm not going to go deep that often. And when I run, the comeback or the out, I have to work back away from them, because all I'm doing is coming right up to them, and then they're following me. So what I'm doing is getting another chance to sort of beat them. And Kenny's putting the ball back there where I'm going to be able to catch it. If he would throw the ball, when I came out of the break, then the defensive back would have to, have a chance to break it up. But the way he throws it low and away from people, and he's going to put it someplace where I can, where I'm going to have a chance to catch it.
Larry, you have a final question?
When this season started, Fred, you seemed to think that maybe your future wasn't with the Oakland Raiders. What are your thoughts now?
Well, all I know is I just want to know what time that check comes in. No, I signed a contract with the Raiders, and you have to fight for what you want in football. And I felt that if I wanted to